Here's your wrestling news for September 4th, 2021. And your headlines for today include: what did WWE reveal during Roman Reigns vs. Finn Balor match on Smackdown? Brock Lesnar's next appearance is revealed. Finn Balor says he doesn't need WWE and they don't need him. Happy Corbin gets a new ally and starts a new feud on Smackdown. How is Becky Lynch's heel turn going on? Raw Women's title match announced for next week. Becky Lynch vs. Bianca Belair confirmed for WWE Extreme Rules. New NXT logo was designed without any input from Triple H. The man behind the logo creation is revealed. Daniel Bryan's AEW All Out plans locked in. AEW likely to change Full Gear date and location. WWE books SummerSlam rematch for Smackdown return to MSG next week. WWE fired over 100 people, and more. We're kicking off today with Smackdown as Universal Champion Roman Reigns made a rare title defense on free TV, putting the gold on the line against Finn Balor. There was a lot of build to the match as earlier in the show, Paul Heyman was interviewed by Kayla Braxton, only to be interrupted by his phone's ringtone, which was Brock Lesnar's theme. Heyman looked worried about what was said in that conversation, and later confirmed that the Beast will be present for next week's SmackDown inside Madison Square Garden. Heyman, looking worse for wear, bumped into a janitor and started berating the man, who was later revealed to be Mr. Money in the Bank, Big E, who heard everything that just took place. When Heyman told Reigns about Lesnar's impending arrival, the tribal chief made it clear that the Beast wasn't his problem, but was evidently unhappy with Lesnar's confirmed return. Reigns even speculated whether Brock was in the arena in Jacksonville, and given that his past 2 title victories have been interrupted, we can't blame him for thinking that. In the main event, Finn Balor was attacked beforehand by the Usos, but gave a stellar performance, including garnering a very close 2 count after a coup de grace. It was Reigns who got the win, choking Balor out with the guillotine, but post-match, a flash of red light caught the champ off guard, teasing the return of the Demon. It's been 2 years and 3 months since Balor's darker side was let loose in WWE, and after this week's loss, Balor will need to channel his demon if he hopes to topple the tribal chief in their expected rematch at Extreme Rules. Balor returned to WWE's main roster earlier this year after nearly 2 years away, and is now feuding with Roman Reigns, the man Balor faced in his very first main roster match in 2016. Speaking to DAZN this week, Balor compared his first stint on the main roster to now and made some pretty bold claims about his stance in the company. He said, "In 2016, I was too eager to please. Right now, I really don't care what people think, what people say, or what people want from me. In 2016, I needed WWE. I needed the limelight, and I needed to prove myself on the biggest stage. I feel right now in 2021, no offense, but I don't need WWE. They don't need me, that's for sure." Balor is the inaugural Universal Champion, but never lost the title, instead having to vacate it due to injury, and now the Irish superstar is focused on getting the gold back and isn't concerned what anyone thinks about that. It wasn't too long ago the WWE teased a face turn for a broke Baron Corbin, but the former King of the Ring is just too good a heel to turn face. Last night, Happy Corbin went back and forth with Kevin Owens on the KO show and brought out a familiar face from Owens' past, Logan Paul. Fans haven't forgot Paul's involvement at WrestleMania 37, and it seems the controversial YouTuber has embraced being a heel and is now good friends with Corbin, the same man he called an asshole at SummerSlam. Unlike WrestleMania, Paul didn't receive a stunner last night, but gleefully watched on as Corbin attacked Owens with a mic and chokeslammed him. Paul and Corbin got the last laugh last night, and this could be an interesting pairing on TV, and hopefully the payoff will see the 2 natural heels get their comeuppance, courtesy of the former Universal Champion. More from Smackdown as after returning at SummerSlam, Becky Lynch has been in the midst of a heel turn, but keeps getting face reactions from the crowd. When the man came out last night, the fans still loved her, but there's no doubt they have a lot of respect for Bianca Belair. This must be a relief to the EST of WWE, who has spent most of her main roster run without a crowd, and last night was once again denied a title match by the man. Lynch insisted that their match will happen on her time, and did get some heel heat from the crowd, who were hoping to see a title match during the broadcast. Lynch's heel turn is starting to work, and backstage, she was confronted by Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, who confirmed that she will defend the Smackdown Women's Championship against Belair at Extreme Rules, an announcement that Lynch wasn't pleased with. Next week's SmackDown will see a contract signing between the two, and with Lynch still trying to establish herself as a heel, perhaps this signing will help cement the heel-face dynamic WWE is trying to get across. Over to Raw next, and after this week's match between Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax had some shoot fighting thrown in, fans will see a rematch next week. It's been confirmed that Jax, who defeated Flair in non-title action, will get a Raw Women's Championship match next week, and time will tell whether the Irresistible Force can become a two-time Raw Women's Champion in a few days' time. Later this month, NXT will return to live programming with a brand new look to the show. In addition to a new stage and a rumored new theme, the Gold brand will be using a new logo that's already been confirmed by the company. The bright, colorful new design hasn't gone down well with fans of the current NXT product, and that may be because no one in the Gold brand got a say in the new logo, as Dave Meltzer reported in The Observer. The new logo came from WWE with no input from the NXT people, and when it comes to the future of NXT and its rebranding, it said the people making the decision on their own are the likes of Vince McMahon, Nick Khan, John Laurinaitis, Kevin Dunn, and Bruce Pritchard. It was further explained that it was Kevin Dunn who made the decision on the new logo, bringing his decades of work on the main roster to the Gold brand. It's been reported that Triple H will still have a leading role in NXT, but that the big decisions, especially around the top stars, will be handled by McMahon and Pritchard instead. Since rebranding in 2012, ditching the original reality show format, Triple H created one of the most beloved shows across all of wrestling. But now the King of Kings can't even get a word in when designing a logo. AEW news next, as this Sunday's All Out will be a huge night and will reportedly see the debut of Daniel Bryan. After leaving WWE earlier this year, Bryan has kept quiet about his future in the ring, but Bodyslam.net has previously reported that Bryan is expected for this Sunday's show. Neither Bryan nor AEW have confirmed those reports, but in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer notes that the former WWE champion is a lock for the show, saying, "Obviously, Danielson's debut is not confirmed in the sense by the promotion, but we've been told by multiple sources it was scheduled for the show, and Bodyslam.net had been the first to report it publicly. If it doesn't happen, it would be a change of plans." We'll only know for sure if Bryan debuts for the company after All Out has gone off the air, but unless plans change, fans can expect yet another huge signing this Sunday. All Out is the company's next big pay-per-view, but there's already been issues with the company's event after that, which will be Full Gear on November 6th. We previously reported that the show is already facing problems as UFC is holding an event inside Madison Square Garden that night, and there's also college football to contend with, and it seems AEW is on the move. Ringside News reports that November 13th will now be the likely date for the show, which has also been called plausible by Dave Meltzer, and that's not the only change for Full Gear. It's also reported that AEW is considering a change of location for the show, which is meant to be in St. Louis, and that Minneapolis, Minnesota is the top contender to host the pay-per-view. AEW haven't officially changed the date yet, but they could announce it very soon, and time will tell what matches happen at Full Gear and where and when they take place. More from Smackdown, as next week's event from the world's most famous arena will play host to some huge matches. After Seth Rollins destroyed Cesaro this week, Edge appeared on SmackDown to stop things from going too far, and afterwards cut a promo backstage challenging the Architect to a match next week. A rematch from SummerSlam, it'll be interesting to see if Rollins can get his win back next week when the two collide once more inside MSG. And we're ending with WWE, who disbanded their Japanese division earlier this week, and as you'd expect, that called for even more layoffs. WWE has developed a trend for mass releases of both talent and behind-the-scenes employees, and according to Yahoo News Japan, WWE's decision to disband their Japanese division left over 100 people out of work. In the report, these layoffs are blamed on management problems due to the ongoing global situation, but there's no word on any specific people who were let go. Hopefully, this is the last mass firing we hear of for a very long time, but given WWE's track record over the past year, we doubt that'll be the case. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.